Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or hi, my name is Stacy if you're new here. So for today's video, we're going to do a bunch of lip swatches of 2 of the new Lisa Eldridge lipstick shades and 3 of her older ones, all in the Velvet Matte formula, as well as a foundation try on of her new foundation that hasn't been released yet, with swatches of some of the lighter shades. I've never ordered anything from Lisa Eldridge before, but I've heard a lot of good things about her brand, which is why I wanted to order this time when she launched some new shades. But I only picked up like nude shades since I know that those are the only lipsticks I'm actually gonna wear. So yeah, if you're curious in seeing some lip swatches and arm swatches and a foundation try on, then just keep on watching. But before we get into it, it would really mean a lot to me if you like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, we'll just get right into the video. So I wanted to start off with the foundation samples that you could get with your Lisa Eldridge order on the website. I'm pretty sure you can get 1 sample card for free, and then every other one, like additional one, would be $3. But yeah, so I picked this one, which is the Light 1 set. So it has the shades 1 through 4 in it. So I can swatch them on my face to find like which one is the best match, and then we'll go from there. And I'll show some arm swatches of all 4 of them. I'll like insert a clip of that after. So this is the shade Light 1. So that's definitely going to be too light. This is the shade Light 2. That's better, but a little still too light. This is the shade Light 3. I think that looks like the best match so far, but it's a little bit yellow. And this is the shade Light 4. Ooh, I like that one, because that one's actually relatively neutral also. So she doesn't have a description of these 4 shades like on the foundation card, but I'll just describe them like with what I think. So I think Light 1 is obviously very light. It's definitely much lighter than the other 3. And I'd say it's neutral, leaning cool. It definitely has a slight pinky undertone to it, so I feel like it'd be good for really fair skin tones. Light 2, it definitely has a peachy pink undertone to it. The pink definitely comes out more. Light 3 is definitely yellow, like it's a golden undertone. I think it's too yellow for me. That's not really the kind of color that I usually like for my skin. I'd say I'm relatively neutral, leaning warm if I were to lean. So Light 4, I'd say it's actually relatively neutral, and it looks about the right depth for me. So I feel like today we're gonna go with Light 4. But yeah, I'll just like let you guys look at the face swatches for a few more seconds. Also, my face looks a lot pinker just because I have redness on my face, but I put it like on my jawline because I want to match it kind of relatively to my face, but then also to my neck and chest area. Also, how it looks in camera is not always accurate, so I'm judging off more so like how I think it looks in person. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Light 4. Because usually I am in between fair and light, so I'm never like the fairest shade or even like the second fairest, but I'm also usually not like solidly in the light category either, because sometimes light shades are too dark. I was kind of taking a gamble with the lightest set, but I think the darker shades of the lightest set are good if you have like a similar skin tone, like a fair to light skin tone. So now I'm gonna remove these face swatches and put Light 4 all over my face. I'm gonna put it all over my cheek. Right off the bat, I think it has a medium coverage. Well, like the very first layer, it has a more light to medium coverage, but it has enough coverage to where I think you can build it to a medium, but we will see. So yeah, you can see the difference on how it covered my face. It looks very natural. I'll put it on this side. Sorry, I was just smelling it. I don't think that there's a scent, which is good. So far, so good. I feel like it's really blendable. It seems to have a natural finish, so it's definitely not matte, but it's not super dewy either, or like super luminous. So that's basically 1 full layer. So obviously you can see my imperfections through, but this is definitely, I would say, a medium coverage. That's kind of like my preferred coverage, so I actually really like it, and I think it looks very natural. So I'm gonna see if we can build it up on some problem areas. But honestly, normally I would just be done with this and then kind of just like spot correct But so far I really like it. It kind of reminds me of the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk foundation. Like how it's lightweight, natural finish, very blendable. Like, doesn't feel like anything on the skin. I'm curious to see what the price point would be on these. But yeah, so that built up pretty nicely. And I still have some foundation left in the little blister card. I don't know how much comes in one of these, but yeah, as you can see, they're not very big. I mean, they're just like a normal blister card size, and I still have some left. So if you wanted fuller coverage, you could probably get it, or like a medium to fuller coverage. I don't think this will ever like build up to full though, but I feel like this is the best level of coverage, just like a solid medium to where it perfects most of your skin, but it still looks very natural and very skin-like. Let me know if you want me to try out the foundation and do like a full day wear test, like when the foundation actually arrives online, and do like a more thorough review. This is just like a first impressions, but so far I really like it. And yeah, I think it matches really well. It has a slight luminosity, but it's just a natural finish, I would say. Before I forget, I'm gonna insert some arm swatches right here, and then we're gonna go into the lip swatch portion of the video. So basically I went thick swatch and then blended out swatch for each shade, and it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is like the thick swatch of 1, then swatch, like blended out swatch, 2, blended out swatch, 3, blended out swatch, 4, blended out swatch. So you can see them here on my arm. I don't know if you can tell, but there definitely is a slight dry down. The shade is slightly different when it's wet compared to when it's dry. Now you can see the undertones more clearly. Light 1 and light 2 are definitely cool tone, like a pink undertone. Light 3 is definitely golden undertone, and light 4 seems more neutral. Okay, so I was finishing up doing my other makeup and like putting on my cream blush and stuff, and I just noticed that, okay, I'm gonna come up really close to the camera, but I don't know if you can see that I think the foundation's like pilling up a little bit here and like here. Yeah, I'm not sure if you could see that, but I can only see when I'm looking up close in my mirror. And I think it might be just like a combination of that specific cream blush. I used the Rose Ink blush in the shade Heliotrope, which is a pretty creamy consistency, so I can see how it would cause that, but I've also never had that issue like with that cream blush with my other foundations. But again, like since this is a first impression, I can't actually tell what's causing it. I don't know if it's the blush's problem, I don't know if it's the foundation's problem, or I don't know if it's like because the specific combination of the blush and the foundation is making it do that. I don't know if this is like a one-time thing or if this is just like those formulas don't mesh. But yeah, I don't know if you can see. It's like right here. It's just like clumping up a little bit. So that's interesting. Like I've never seen that happen before, but it's very like not noticeable. Like, I mean, you can't see it from here, and like even in person, nobody else would know that that's an issue. So it's not really an issue, but just something to keep in mind. Which is like kind of strange, so I thought I would note it. Oh yeah, and this is without like setting, so I didn't set my base yet at all. Anyway, so now I'm gonna set my face and then wipe off my lip balm, and then we're gonna start with the lip swatches. So this is my first time ever trying Lisa Eldridge's lipsticks. I just never bought them, but I've heard so many good things about them, so I'm really excited to try. But basically I only bought 2 of the new shades, and then I bought 3 older shades. So the 2 new shades I have are Velvet Petal and Velvet Blush Lightly. So I'm gonna start with Velvet Petal. This is my first time opening one of these. Oh, it has like a little nick on it. My first time opening one of these. And you can see the velvet imprint. I'm going to dab it on first to see what it looks like as a lip tint kind of, and then do a full coat. So this is Velvet Petal really lightly. And then, so it's very interesting. It just feels like a regular lipstick when I am putting it on, but it's super matte. I'm gonna blend it out with my finger because that's what I like to do anyway. This is the shade Velvet Petal. What do we think? It's a very vivid color actually, but it's like a wearable bright color. I'd say it's kind of like a coral, pinky coral. So yeah, feeling wise, it feels exactly like how a regular lipstick feels. So like a regular cream lipstick, but it's super matte because there's no shine. But yeah, it doesn't feel drying at all. It's interesting because I kind of thought it would be like the MAC Powder Kiss lipsticks. I don't know if you guys have tried those, but they basically offer similar claims because they're supposed to be super matte, but also hydrating on your lips at the same time. But they feel pretty different. Like because these feel more like a standard lipstick, whereas the MAC Powder Kiss ones have a very silicone-y slip to them. So these don't have that slip, they're more creamy. Like it literally just feels like I'm putting on a regular lipstick. I wouldn't know the difference, except it looks very matte, which I like. So next with the shade Velvet Blush Lightly, looks like this. I'm gonna put it on as a stain again. So I feel like this is how I would like to wear them, as like a thin stain. In kind of a gradient lip situation. And it's so easy to make the gradient lip. And then I'm gonna put on a full lip. So far I really like the shades. I like that Lisa Eldridge's shades are very like nuanced. That's kind of what attracted me to the brand to begin with. This is harder to do without a lip liner, but I don't want to put a lip liner on for each one. Here's Velvet Blush Lightly. Okay, this one definitely has a cooler undertone, whereas Velvet Petal has a warm undertone. Keep that in mind. But yeah, this is a very flattering rose color. And next we have the shade Velvet Fawn. This is one of her older lipsticks. Looks like this. It's kind of like a brownie nude, brownie beige nude with like a pink undertone. Ooh. So this one I was curious about because nudes can tend to look weird on me. Okay, I'm gonna do like a thin blended out layer. This is how I prefer to wear lipsticks, like as a stain. This is Velvet Fawn with a thin layer blended out. Oh yeah, so as I was saying, nudes can tend to look really strange on me just because like, just a lot of the nudes that work for other people just don't work for me because of the undertone or like the depth isn't exactly correct. And I think it also has to do with my natural lip color being dull, so it doesn't like shine through and help the lipstick become pinker. I can't put like really pale nudes on because then I just look dead. But this honestly is like the perfect pale nude. I'm like really surprised. Like it's very nude on me, but I don't look dead like how I would with many other nudes. This is the full opacity of Velvet Fawn. It has like the perfect pink undertone that makes it not look dead. I'm actually very surprised by this one. It has pink, brown, and beige in it, and it's like the perfect middle tone. I really like it. Okay, Lisa. The next one we have is Velvet Beauty. Looks like this. This one definitely has a stronger blue tone to it. Velvet Beauty as a stain. And I'm gonna put it at full opacity. Yeah, see like the colors become much darker and richer when you put it at full opacity. So yeah, this one is definitely strongly cool toned, but since I'm more of a neutral skin tone, I can definitely pull it off. It's a brighter pink for sure, but it still counts as wearable in my book. Like I would wear this out with like cool toned looks. So this is Velvet Beauty at full opacity. So lastly, we have Velvet Muse. Looks like this. It's kind of like a brownie pinky nude. So we're gonna apply this as a stain. I feel like this is one of the most wearable shades, like most universally wearable shades. These are super comfortable though. Like I swatched 5 lipsticks and my lips aren't dry at all. Yeah, this is Velvet Muse, full opacity. What do we think? Leave a comment down below which shade was your favorite. So I'm gonna show you some arm swatches next, and then after that we'll wrap up with my final thoughts. Okay, so here we have some arm swatches. This half is like a thicker swatch, and then this half is kind of it blended out. So we have Velvet Petal, Velvet Blush Lightly, Velvet Fawn, Velvet Beauty, and Velvet Muse. So just to describe, I'd say Velvet Petal and Velvet Beauty are kind of the same brightness, but obviously Velvet Beauty is blue toned, whereas Velvet Petal is definitely warm toned. Velvet Blush Lightly and Velvet Muse are pretty similar in terms of depth, but Velvet Muse has a lot more brown in it, whereas Velvet Blush Lightly has a lot more purple or blue to the undertone. Then lastly, we have Velvet Fawn, which is kind of just like in its own category. It looks kind of similar to Velvet Muse in the swatch, but it's noticeably lighter on the lips. Yeah, those are all the similarities. Okay, so now to round up some of my final thoughts, let's start with the foundation. So actually, I'm gonna read the back of this little blister card thing that it came in. So this is Lisa Eldridge's description of what her foundation is supposed to be. This intelligently formulated, self-setting foundation blends effortlessly to smooth and unify skin with a natural-looking, soft-focus finish. The skin-friendly formula gives customizable medium coverage that fuses seamlessly with your skin. Start with a little and build to your desired level of enhanced perfection. So I have to say, I will agree with most of these claims. So it's interesting because she says the formula is an intelligent formula that self-sets. So I actually feel like I could see that like when I was swatching, because it kind of like sets down. But it's interesting that it sets down because it still has a very natural finish, as you can see. So that's what she said, and she also says it's a customizable medium coverage, which I agree with. But yeah, so far everything about the foundation is looking good, except for those weird kind of patches. So I'm not really sure what that's about, but I feel like it has something to do with the self-setting thing. And like I probably disrupted it somehow. I feel like I would get a better sense of this if I do like a full wear test of this foundation. We'll have to wait for when it launches. But let me know down in the comments if you want to see like an actual full foundation review and wear test of the Lisa Eldridge Seamless Skin Foundation. As for the lipsticks, my very first time owning Lisa Eldridge lipsticks, I'm very satisfied with the formula. It's very creamy and definitely feels like a luxe lipstick. It's not as different of a formula as I thought it was going to be. So actually my preferred way to wear this now after testing them is a very thin layer and just kind of like blending it out on my lips by like patting them together or with my finger. That's what I did here. Right now I'm wearing Blush Lightly. I feel like that looks the best and it feels the thinnest while still having a good amount of color pigmentation, and it blends out super easily too. Like I can get the diffused lip look really easily, which is something that I usually look for in lipsticks. But yeah, besides that, I really like the very matte finish. It doesn't emphasize any texture. It like smooths over everything. But yeah, so in looks, I actually think it looks very similar to the MAC Powder Kiss lipstick, so if that's something that you're looking for a dupe kind of. But texture wise, it's pretty different. As I said before, the MAC one is much more slippery, so it doesn't feel like a regular lipstick at all. And the MAC one is more sheer, so it would take more layers to build up, whereas Lisa Eldridge, if you do like one good swipe, it can be opaque, but that's not what I prefer, so I would do a lighter application. Part of what you're paying for with the Lisa Eldridge lipsticks is the built-in like understanding of color theory that she has, which I am willing to pay extra for. So each lipstick is $36, which is obviously a luxury price tag. But I mean, it's the same as like Pat McGrath or Charlotte Tilbury, and you can only buy it on her website. But I will say that I feel like her shades have relatively unique undertones, especially that Velvet Fawn shade I really like for a light nude on my skin tone, since I personally find it hard to find lighter nudes that flatter me. Like so far, Velvet Fawn is the only one that I found that I actually like on me and doesn't make me look dead. So that was a good find. Yeah, so that's about all my thoughts on the Lisa Eldridge lipsticks and the new foundation. If you like this video, don't forget to thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment down below if you want to see more content like this, because it really helps me out. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye.